One of the best ways to build credibility in the workplace and advance in your career is to develop your public speaking skills. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to share some tips and techniques that we learn as actors and apply them to any time that you're giving a presentation. Today's tip is what I call the double beat breath. The single biggest mistake that most of us make as actors and public speakers is that we forget to breathe. Which sounds really crazy, right, when you think about it, because what do we do all day long? It's the most natural thing in the world. Nobody needed to teach us how to breathe. But in the context of public speaking, it's a very different animal. And nothing can make or break the success of a presentation like keeping a consistent and comfortable breathing pattern throughout. The truth is, most of us are out of breath before we even start our presentation. And when you think about what's usually going on right before we have to speak somewhere, it's not surprising. In the real world, we're usually sitting in an auditorium or a conference room and someone calls us up to the stage and we run up to the stage and we're frantically adjusting our microphone and fumbling with our note cards. And we're talking before we even get to the podium. We're saying, okay, let's get started. And boom, we slide right into our presentation and we're out of breath before we even start. Now, this is equally true if we're giving a virtual presentation from the comfort of our home office, as many of us are doing these days. So we're at home, we're upstairs feeding the dog, we realize we're late for a Zoom call and we're presenting at the beginning of that call. We race down the stairs and turn on the computer and we are out of breath before we even start the program. This creates a bad cycle. We're out of breath, so we speak more quickly, which makes us more out of breath. We already all speak too quickly when we're nervous, which makes us more out of breath, which increases our heart rate, which makes us speak more quickly. And you see where this is going. The problem is, once we've started that cycle, it's very hard to break it during the course of our presentation. What can we do to break the cycle before it even begins? It's what I call the two-beat breath. When you're ready to speak, before you do so, stand and plant, find a comfortable position, and take 2 deep, widely spaced breaths. In and out, in and out. Now, it seems simple, but what you've done is that your body has created a pattern that your brain will continue to follow throughout your presentation. It's really a form of muscle memory. It's the very last thing I do anytime I have to present, whether I'm backstage, coming out from behind the curtain and stepping onto that stage. It's the last thing I do before I step out there, or it's the last thing I do at the podium before I begin a presentation. Isn't that going to look a little bit weird? The answer is no, it won't. Presumably, you're not going to do the hand motions that I was doing just for demonstration purposes, hopefully. So if you're up there just serenely taking a couple of discrete breaths before you start, the audience is never even going to notice. And even if they do, that's okay. That can be a good thing. Silence is a powerful tool because it creates expectation and anticipation. That's where we get the idea of the dramatic pause. So if you take just a moment, all you'll be doing is making sure that you have your audience's full attention. And that's a good thing. That is the double breath. Easy peasy, super simple. But give it a try next time you are giving a presentation, and I promise you will feel more comfortable, more confident, and it will just improve your overall delivery. So join me next time when the technique that we'll be borrowing from the theater to apply to public speaking will be vocal pacing.